Hey, what's up, everybody? What's everybody? What's up, everybody? It's Barbara Reese from the Bronx. And I just want to tell everybody happy holidays. God bless you. I love you all. Jesus loves you. And I just want to share a little treat with you guys. So, the way I keep myself healthy, like I said, I exfoliate my skin. That's why I have barely any wrinkles. It's good genes. But it also has to do with exfoliation. Guys, you gotta exfoliate your skin. You gotta exfoliate. I can't say it enough. You gotta exfoliate your skin. You have to. You gotta get those dead skin cells off. And if you do it already, you're ahead of the game. Now, you have to eat healthy. You have to. Look, like I said, I know the disc is scratched. I sound like a broken record. But the truth is the truth, and I can't leave this out because it's a very important key to recovery and keeping your body healthy and your body being able to rejuvenate itself and bounce back from harmful ways maybe you had in the past, or maybe you smoke cigarettes, or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you don't eat healthy, but now's the time. I eat peanut butter. You see this? You see this? There's the peanut butter. I eat peanut butter, honey, and cinnamon every single night. Okay? It's good for your brain. Nuts are excellent for your brain. They have special medicinal properties in them. They're packed with protein. They're packed with vitamin E. They're packed with nutrients. As a matter of fact, nuts are the perfect food. Like, God forbid, if the shit was to hit the fan, if the age of the robots came into play, I'm talking about, one of those catastrophe movies where the robots take over the earth and people gotta, survival of the fittest or whatever. I'm just joking around, but you never know. The day and age of technology is progressing very fast. I mean, if you would have told us 20 years ago we'd be looking at a screen holding up a friggin' miniature computer, people would have been like, yeah, alright, sure. But we are. These are supercomputers. These phones are supercomputers. No doubt about it. And I'm going to do a whole series on what I believe runs the whole internet system, what I believe runs, what makes up the components and everything, the mechanisms of phones and televisions, of anything that is electronic. I have my own theory about that, but that's neither here nor there right now. Okay, remember this. Lucifer fell like lightning. What is everything contained of that has to have electricity in them? Right? Electricity, lightning. You get where I'm coming from? Okay. You plug it in. It's like if you get shocked, it's like a bolt of lightning, right? Tesla's ball, Anyway, so cinnamon has a lot of medicinal properties in it. Cinnamon is excellent for everything. It preserves your body. As a matter of fact, that's how they used, the ancient Egyptians used cinnamon for mummification purposes. They used frankincense, they used myrrh, they used cinnamon, they used all kinds of spices. Spices are life, and spices preserve your body, and so do water and vitamins and foods that are packed with nutrition. So I just wanted to say that, guys, please eat healthy, please drink plenty of water, and please take your vitamins. It's so important. It really is. It's very, very important. In the wintertime, I have a hard time. Let me lower this music. I'm a najita. I'm trying to talk here. I got these friggin' people wrapping up a storm, I mean, listen, I like all kinds of music. So, yeah. So, I wrote something that's very near and dear to my heart, and I'm going to share it with everyone tonight. Tito's snoring away, the baby's snug as a bug in a rug. He's watching his little sand, the animated, the clay figures, the stop motion animation from back in the day, from before we were born. If you were born in the 70s, they were made in the 50s, even before that, I believe. Remember Gumby? Oh, Lord. Okay, so here's the poem that I wrote. It's called Their Eyes. Their eyes, the pain they see when you look into the children's eyes. Christ died. He's wearing a crown. I deserve to hang upside down. Those eyes, the lies that we see when they are starving, swatting off the flies. In the silence they lay golden, and it is said in the days of olden, the cries of the wind shifting through the scheme of what is, what was, and what shall be. We are looking in the glass of eternity. We float freely, freely, freely. We are one, and if we are one, no one should be hungry, lonely. Escape the dark night. Don't be afraid. I'm going to rescue you all. I walk by faith and not by sight. It's getting dim. Where is your light? Shine it bright with a smile. Turn that frown upside down, my child. For on my watch, on God's watch, you will no longer sorrow. And you have to forgive me. I am very tired. I really don't get a lot of sleep. So if I stumbled with my words, please, I apologize to you. I am very good at reading and comprehension and all those things. But when you're running around, cleaning all the time, and you get, you have lack of sleep, sometimes even my brain can skip a thing or two, But that being said, this really resonates dear to my heart. Because if you think about the words, their eyes, the pain you see when you look into the children's eyes. Christ died. He's wearing a crown. I deserve to be hanging upside down. Those lies, the lies that we see when they are starving, swatting off the flies. In the silence they lay golden, the children I'm talking about. As it is said in the days of olden, the cries of the wind shifting through the scheme of what really is, of what was, and what shall be. We are looking through the glass of eternity. We float freely, freely, freely. We are one, and if we are one, no one should be hungry, lonely. Escape the dark night. Don't be afraid. I am going to rescue you all. I walk by faith and not by sight. It's getting dim. Where is your light? Shine it bright with a smile. Turn that frown upside down, my child. For on my watch, on God's watch, you will no longer sorrow. I know I read it twice, but I had to because it's really profound. It really is. And I love to write. I love to draw. God has gifted me with a lot, and I'm 40 years old now. I know I keep saying that because it's not too late for me. Even though I am that age, I'm not that age. I don't feel like I am defined by any age, for that matter. I really don't. I feel like time has stopped for me. For some reason, I really feel like that. Like, when I'm playing with my son, I feel like a child. When I'm talking to an adult, I'm an adult. I am anything and everything, and God has made me that way. And that's why I would never, there's a couple of songs that I was listening to. I'm a fan of Billie Eilish. I really like, everyone's telling me, oh, you look like her. I'm like, no, I don't. I look like me. There might be some features that resemble, she has a very small little nose. We have, similar eyes and lips, but that's neither here nor there. And there's a song, it says, I don't want to be you anymore. And I'm thinking about all the things that I went through in my life. And I'm like, even at my hardest, even at my worst, I never want to be anybody else but me. Because God has made me who I am. And I appreciate that. I appreciate everything that God has made up of me as an individual. I appreciate the gifts. There are things in my life that I wish didn't happen, but that doesn't mean that I don't want to be me, and I can't control those things. All I can do is learn from them, even though some of them there's nothing to really learn from, only get stronger from, like the loss of my first two children and the pregnancy on the street. The pregnancy on the street, like I said, was not planned, so it's not like, I could say to myself, oh, well, first of all, I would never be on the street like that again. Second of all, I would never touch another drug ever in my life, and that I could say with 100% surety. Number 3 is that when I found out, I was a mess. I didn't know what was going on around me. I really didn't. And if I can go back in time and grab myself and say, straighten up, but I can't. All I can do is become stronger from that pain and suffering that I went through and the things that I've done in regret in my life, and learn from the things of regret. But I wouldn't change really anything, because I would change like the thing with my children, because when that happened, that put me on the road of destruction. But then again, if that didn't happen, which I hate with all my heart, I would not be the strong person I am today. So I'm in a tug of war, but more, of course, I would never, ever want to lose my babies. My children were my life. They still are my life. And I'm speaking on a past perspective of how I felt at the time, like they were my life. They still are my life. And I love all 4 of my children. And, that's one thing I have to talk about is my oldest son reached out to me 2 years ago. And it was the best thing that ever happened. I was on cloud 9. I was happy. I was gloating. I was floating. I was everything. And it was just wonderful. And he believed. He knew he did his own research. He knew everything that happened. The adoptive parents found out, because I guess they didn't know at first. They found out. They got wind that he reached out to me. They tore me up. They told him something. Now he hates me. I don't know what they told him. They probably showed them the adoption papers of little Patty and said, oh, this is who your mother is. Your mother's a piece of shit. Instead of being honest and telling them the truth, that happened as a friggin' domino effect of circumstances due to the loss of them prior to that situation. That's not who I was with them. I was never that person, ever. I smoked weed once in a while, and I have family that can attest to that. My own mother and other family members. I was not on heroin. I did not smoke crack. I didn't know anything about that shit. I did not know nothing about it until they took my children, and it took a long time. It wasn't like, oh, boom, they took my kids, I started using drugs. No, I tried to get them back honestly and earnestly, and they just wouldn't give them back. They would not give me back my children. I was 21 years old. I didn't have any money. I didn't have a job. I was a high school dropout. I had nothing, and I really didn't have anywhere. Like, if they were to award me back my children, they used to say, well, where are you going to take them, Miss because that's my married name, which is another problem, Miss McComb. Where would you take them? A shelter? Oh, so you're going to take your children out of a loving, stable household to go into a shelter with them? This is what I was dealing with. And every time I went to court, it was always a pushback, and it was always a story, and it was always, oh, well, you need to do this. And I did everything they told me to do. I went to domestic violence. I did classes, a bunch of stuff, parenting. They had me do all, and I did all of it. They weren't giving back my kids. They weren't. And then I lost my mind. I hung out with the wrong people. I started taking pills at first. Then I started sniffing heroin, then skin popping, and then mainlining, and then the other crap, the cocaine, came afterward. And I used to panhandle. And that's how I met this Jewish man. And that's how I wound up. My family's from the Bronx, but that's how I wound up back in the Bronx from where my family is from. They're from Little Italy, though, not HP. But, you know, it's just getting back to what I was saying. My son hates me now. Not only does he hate me, he wants to kill me. He told me over the phone, he said, if you were in front of me, I would stomp on your face and kick you until your guts came out of your mouth. Something to that degree. He said he would disembowel me. He would crush me like an ant. He would bury me alive. He would set me on fire. All of these really horrific, graphic, gruesome ways of taking someone's life. This is what my son was saying to me. And from there, I contact him, and he hates me still. He wants nothing to do with me. And it breaks my heart because I didn't deserve that. When he reached out to me, he was my friend. We were becoming close. I was being his mother, as I am his mother. And he was listening to my advice, and I was writing him poems and showing him my creativity because he's so smart. Excuse me. He's a genius. He got straight A's. His father, unfortunately, you know, I'm not going to lie, his father was very, very intelligent, but not a decent human being. You can be the smartest person in the world, but if you don't not decent in here, what does that matter? It matters nothing. You know, all he did was read about World War II. I mean, okay, you want to self-educate yourself, but he would read it in the wrong context. He would read it to get knowledge of war tactics, and he would sit in the woods with camouflage and BB guns. I mean, this is the mentality I was dealing with. Okay, notice how I emphasize man, because this is the man and the mentality that I was dealing with. It was absolutely horrific. And now my daughter. My mom was in the car with my daughter, and I had no idea. She did not give me a heads up. It was all by the grace of God. I called my mom. My mom picked up the phone. I told my daughter everything. My daughter pretty much stayed silent, but my mother said that she believed me, and she felt so bad. Now, I don't know what happened. My mom said that the adoptive parents do not even want my mother around anymore. So now I have no link. As soon as they found out that I talked to my daughter over the speakerphone, they are so controlling that they threatened her, basically, that if she has any kind of contact with me or my mom, that they will cut her off. She's 18 years old. Where is she going to go? You know, they put my son in a home. When he turned 18, they put him in a friggin' home. And you know who he ran into? His father. Yes, he ran into his father. He went up to... This is the story that my mom told me, that the adoptive parents told... That my son told the adoptive parents, and they told my mom. That they put him in a friggin' home, which I was irate about. I was like, why are they putting my... Oh, because they're not getting the checks anymore. When he turned 18, they're not getting their money anymore, so now they don't want him in the house anymore, because I guarantee that's what it was. They renovated their whole house. You know how much money they got off my children? Forget about it. Thousands of dollars. Okay? For taking my 3 children in. Listen, I appreciate my 3 children being all together with all of my heart, and like I said, I can't change the past. But these people are really being very overbearing. They're not giving me the respect I deserve as their mother, and knowing that I wasn't a bad person. And knowing the circumstances, yes, it was unfortunate. I'm not sugarcoating anything that happened with little Patty. But it is the truth. I got pregnant on the street. I didn't know I was pregnant until I was 5 months pregnant. Okay, I got arrested. The lady was I told the story, pulling out rags out of inside of me. Someone raped me. I'm not saying he's a product of rape. I don't know. But all I know is when I got locked up, I had to go to the hospital because something was wrong with me internally. I found I was pregnant, and there was about 15 rags shoved inside my private. Yes, there was. Okay? I know it sounds disgusting, but guys, you have no idea the life that I lived. I would never want that for anybody. I didn't have, like, how can I put it? If somebody would have came out there and said, come on, let me help you, I would have taken the help. I didn't have any. My mother said that she contacted some lady that lived on the block. Okay, but nobody came after me. I just wish these people would give me a chance. I just want to be close. I want them to know their brother. I want them to know their little brother. I want them to know each other. I just want them to know who I am as an individual, as a person, and know that I'm not a bad person. I never gave them up. I lost them from domestic violence, and it was unjust for me because I didn't do anything to them. I did nothing. And my dad couldn't take them in because he was adopting his own kid. My mom couldn't take them in because you guys know why, because she's living with a convicted rapist. You know. Those people didn't know. That's why she was able to see them during the years. They had no idea that my mom was with this man. But, you know, they weren't around him until one time they invited my mom and Mike to a birthday party, and it was in a public restaurant. And just seeing those pictures, it's like, here it is, this man raped me when I was 13 till I was 16 years old, and he's allowed to sit there and have dinner with my children. The irony, okay? The hypocrisy. I can't wrap my head around it. Every time I think about it, my blood pressure goes up. I can't think about these things in depth, guys. I can't, because it affects my health. You could see it in my face, my ears, my face gets red, I just lose life. I love my kids with all my heart, and I just want, first and foremost, I want them to know that I love them. I always love them. I always relayed messages. My mother can never give them the message. She said, oh, if I give them the message, they're not going to let me see them anymore. So you couldn't pull them aside and send them. My son told me that is the main reason that he's angry with me. The main reason is because no one ever told him that I loved him. And my mother will attest to that. Excuse me, guys. Oh, it's 23 minutes. Tomorrow I'm going to do another video about the time that I was raped in this man's house, in every single bedroom in his house. I love you guys. God bless you. I can't breathe when I talk about this stuff. That's why I have to stop. God bless you guys. I love you with all my heart. Thank you, my cousins, for supporting me. Thank you, everybody who's supporting my channel. I appreciate it with all of my heart. I would love to make a movie about my life, so if anybody's interested about real, raw detail about Hunts Point, about hustling in Hunts Point, being homeless on the street for 15 years in the Bronx, living a crazy lifestyle, and before that enduring all kinds of abuse, domestic violence, losing your children, and surviving all of that, and having the head to talk about it to this day, and still having some kind of, self-worth and identity. Guys, I'm the one. I got the story. So if you're interested, please, and subscribe. I appreciate it. God bless you, and Jesus loves you all. Good night.